Hi everyone. Thank you all for attending this workshop. In our presentation today, we will be discussing the communication strategy of wait, imitate, and label. My name is Sarah and I will be one of your presenters today. I am a communicative resource assistant at Surrey Place and I will be presenting with Chris Guest, who's one of our speech language pathologists within our preschool speech and language program. A little bit of housekeeping before we get started. Thank you to everyone who has muted their microphone and turned off their camera. If you haven't done so already, please do so to improve our connectivity. During this presentation, feel free to ask questions at any time through the chat function. To use the chat, you can click on the chat icon indicated on the slides. You're also welcome to unmute yourself and ask your question. Again, we just wanted to thank you for joining our workshop today. Hopefully by the end of today's session, you will all have a general understanding of what waiting, imitating, and labeling refer to, how to use these strategies, and why they are important for fostering vocabulary growth in your child. We will finish off this workshop with a few examples, followed by the next steps to take, including homework. To get this workshop started, I just want to review some definitions to ensure that everyone is on the same page when it comes to defining waiting, imitating, and labeling. When it comes to waiting, we want to pause expectantly to allow our child time to process information and respond. For example, if we're singing Old MacDonald, we could pause after Old MacDonald had a and see if our child will respond by filling in the blank, such as saying cow or pointing to a picture of cow. Imitating is when you, as parents, copy your child's output, regardless if it was a full word or not. Not only do we copy their vocalizations and words, we can also copy their actions. For example, if our child says ah, we can say ah. If they say ball, we can say ball. And if they decide to tap the table, we can also copy their action of tapping the table. This requires observation of what your child is doing and saying. Make sure before you imitate, you wait and look at your child so they can see what you are doing or saying. And finally, labeling is referring to naming and talking about the world around you and your child. Think about labeling not just objects, but all different kinds of words, so action words, location words, and describing words. In the chat, let's try to come up with different ideas or different words that we could model when we interact with our child. You're also welcome to unmute yourself and tell us your ideas. Now that we have a brief understanding of what these strategies are, I thought that we could go through a couple of true or false questions to examine some myths or misconceptions around these strategies. After each question, I'm going to ask you all to write either true or false in the chat. And this is a safe space, so no pressure if you get a question right or wrong. We are all here to learn. Our first question, true or false? Pausing or waiting reduces the quality of communication when in an interaction with your child. The answer is false. Research has shown that the quality of the communication during activities such as playing increases when pausing and waiting is implemented. Waiting also lets you observe your child, see what they are interested in, and shows your child that you are listening and pausing to respond to their communication attempts. Waiting can help entice your child to participate in the activity through communication. Our second question, true or false? Imitating your child's vocalizations, gestures, or words makes children less willing to communicate and participate and may lead to bad speech habits. This myth is also false. Research shows that by imitating what your child vocalizes or says, we increase the likelihood that the child will attempt to imitate the imitation. So playing copycat with your child is a beneficial tool for fostering language growth and participation from your child. Last question, true or false? You should label and comment about actions, objects, and activities with your child throughout the day. This statement is true. Adding language by labeling throughout the day, including during routines and daily activities such as bath time or getting ready for bed, lets your child hear the correct adult model and can help expand their vocabulary. Alright, moving on from true and false questions. We are now going to learn more about the reasoning behind these strategies. Pausing or waiting is one of the most beneficial language tools that you can use. When talking to another person, you may pause or wait to highlight an idea, to shift to a new idea, or mark the end of your turn. Pausing or waiting also allows the person you're talking with to have time to process what you said. This is especially important when talking with children who are just learning language. By showing your child that you are attending, so paying attention to what they are communicating, you can help form social skills such as turn taking, so taking turns back and forth. Now that you know why waiting is helpful, let's think about how to actually implement or use this strategy. So let's talk about what expectantly waiting means. It means stopping what you are saying, getting face to face with them, leaning into your child and looking directly at them, and even counting to 10 in your head to help you wait a bit longer. All of this shows your child you're paying attention to them. Waiting can be difficult at first, especially if you are used to doing most of the talking. It may also be something new and unexpected for your child. So it is important to give your child enough time to realize that your waiting means that you want them to respond in some kind of way. So what might we be waiting for? Well, your child may smile, they may use eye contact, they may reach, make a sound, do an action, say a word or words. So when do we wait? Well, in a song, we can wait right before a really fun part of a song. If you're playing like a people game, like giving tickles, you can wait right before you give a tickle. At snack time, you can wait right before you give them their next snack item. I would love to hear from all of you when else we can add our waiting time. It can be in a motivating activity or something fun you do at home. You're welcome to participate in the chat or unmute yourself to tell us your ideas. We will now watch a short clip that shows an example of our waiting strategy.
Ready, set, go!
In this brief video clip, I really liked how Mom used waiting to prompt her child to say the word go. She cued him that she wanted him to provide a response. All right, so now let's get more into our imitating strategy. Imitation or copying your child shows them that we are listening and paying attention to what they are saying, and it also lets you build on what they do or say. For example, if your child says p for pop, you can reply with something like pop the bubbles, pop. Or if she didn't use any sounds and was clapping the bubbles, you can copy her clapping the bubbles too. When we copy our children, it shows that we are interested in what they are interested in, and this can be very motivating. As caregivers, we often ask our children to copy what we are saying, but by copying what our children are doing or saying can help grow their confidence and encourage them to keep trying. So how exactly can we copy? Well, you can copy their actions, for example, stomping your feet, reaching for something, blowing a kiss, sounds. So if they say ah, 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 then you can say ah, ah, ah. Facial expressions like your questioning face. You can copy that facial expression. If they're smiling, you can copy them as well. Or a word. So if they say ball, you can say ball. All around, copying is a fun way to connect with your child and join in their play and communication. It's also a good idea to copy them right away in the moment. We'll now look at a short clip of our imitating strategy.
Two.
It's yellow, yellow, yellow.
Fire truck goes wee wee wee.
In this short video clip, you can see that Mom is simply copying the fire truck noises made by her son. This is a fun example to show that copying or imitation is a great way to show your child that you're interested in what they are interested in and encourages them to keep trying to communicate with us. Lastly, we have our strategy of labeling. Labeling helps grow your child's vocabulary and can help create a balance between asking your child questions and commenting on what they are interested in. When trying to get your child to communicate more, it may be tempting to ask lots of questions as if we're trying to pull the communication out of them. But instead, you could try making comments about the things your child is interested in. To work out on this at home, try making about 5 comments for every one question that you ask. For example, if your child is playing with a ball, you can make comments like bounce, squish, ball, up, down, smooth. And remember that we still want to think about our weighting strategy, so make sure that you space out the labels and give them a chance to copy if they'd like. A good rule of thumb for making comments is to match your child's type of communication. For example, if they make a sound, you can take a turn making a new sound. If they do an action, your turn would be doing a new action. You also want to use a variety of words when labeling a variety of different labels. This will help grow your child's vocabulary. So words like action words, objects like a person, place, or thing, describing words, or location words. And remember to repeat these words many times. This will help your child become more familiar with it. Instead of setting aside a special time to label, a great way to make sure you get lots of repetition in is by bringing the label strategy into your daily routines. So we often do things every day, such as cooking meals, making the bed, getting dressed, having a bath. So this means that every day you get a chance to use those same words over and over with your child.
Oh, Winnie Pooh sleeping. Says, hello, Macy. Oh. He's sitting down. Macy's sitting down. Should we build a tower? Put the tower here, look. 1, 2, 3. Crash! You kicked the tower.
Now let's watch our final short clip about our strategy of labeling. Alright, so we talked a lot about our weighting, imitating, and labeling strategies. The final thing I want to do is to challenge you to pick one strategy from today and try to implement it into your day-to-day lives. From there, I want to challenge you even further by thinking about when you're going to use this strategy and how you're going to remind yourself to use these strategies. Thank you everyone for attending our weighting, imitating, and labeling workshop. We appreciate your attendance and your participation. We hope you learned something today and that you're able to take some information and implement it in your daily routines. Thank you.